Coming up on 622, yeah, it is the good life. Taking a look outside, waking up on this Friday. Satiar Shah and his immaculate beard joining us here on the BT couch. Woo! It's hard to focus here, Sat. Wow, are we live?
I think so.
Well,
it's happened before. Don't feel too bad.
This is a good start for me. Okay, let's talk about the Vancouver Giants. Save me, man. WHL Championship, Giants down 3-1. They had a good start winning the first game overall, but Prince Albert, they're a strong team. Game 5's tonight. Are you hopeful we can turn this around?
I'm hopeful they can win one more game. It's tough, though, because this PA Raiders team is just so far and away the best team in the WHL all season long. And they have a lot of veteran players. So they have some guys who are a couple years older. They have a bunch of guys who have already been drafted. And they have this one kid, Brett Leeson, who's now been passed over twice in the draft. And he scored the game winner, obviously, in Game 4 to give the PA Raiders that 3-1 series lead. It's going to be tough for the Giants to get back in this series. But they're a really young team that has already exceeded expectations by so far.
Last game was close. They lost 1-0. They outshot the Raiders by 10. It showed that they were aggressive. They were ready to play. Was this a matter of the goaltending being so good, or the Giants have yet to find their game?
I think it's a bit of both. Giants actually did outplay PA last game, and that's where you get a lot of credit for it. But it's so hard when you're down 3-1. And then if you do win, at least now it becomes a bit of a series. The Giants have shown that they can win a game in Prince Albert. But sometimes for a team like that, winning the first game on the road as the underdogs, that's the easier one to steal, and then it gets a lot harder because that other team wakes up. And as good as PA's been, it took them a while to really find their dominant game. You saw that in Game 3 when they just lit up the Giants in that first period. But I have some confidence in Bowen Byram. Like, when he plays at his best, he might still be the best player in this series, despite still being one of the youngest guys on both teams.
The atmosphere, we're hearing great things about Langley Event Center. Do we expect it to be electric again, Game 5?
Oh, absolutely. It was a great last game. They had about 4,600 or some fans, and they were really loud and boisterous. And it really gets loud in there when fans get excited. And it's a lot different than Pacific Coliseum, obviously, back in the day, but I find it to be a lot louder and a lot more intense when the crowd gets in. So the crowd will be on their side, and if they can just get a goal early, they got a chance to at least extend the series a bit longer.
Okay, so Game 5 in Vancouver. We were going to talk Raptors. They lost last night. Game 7 Sunday. We hope they win. But Whitecaps tonight. This is a big matchup. Cascadian Cup matchup against the Portland Timbers, but the narrative being overshadowed by Walkout 35.
And it is too bad because the Vancouver Whitecaps have done a decent job building the team up again. And I like Mark Dos Santos and his message, but it's really difficult to separate everything else going on off the field as well. And I give the Southsiders credit, and especially Timbers fan, for coming in and being united still, because I don't believe the Whitecaps have done enough to really be fully accountable for everything that happened. And until more answers are given and until we get more transparency, I believe these types of walkouts and having two fan bases be united in this, even though it is at BC Place, I think is really strong and powerful. And I think this is a message the Whitecaps need to hear loud and clear.
So 35th minute of the match tonight, we're expecting the Whitecaps fans and Southsiders and Portland Timbers fans to unite with this message, with the allegations. But they've been clear that they are protesting against the executives, not the team. And if you look at the team itself, one loss in the last 4 matches, you know, they're starting to figure things out, but how much of a distraction is this if you're a Whitecaps player to try and put out, you know, the best game possible?
I'm sure it is, but at the same time, it has been a bit of a rallying cry to stay focused, and they did play well their last match, and they're only 2 points behind a playoff spot at this point, right? And considering how poor they started the season, it's still a long campaign. They have a chance to get back into it. I hope the players use it as the motivating factor and just to come together as opposed to falling apart and coming apart at the seams, which can happen oftentimes. But I think Mark Dos Santos he's very smart, he's very passionate, and I think he's really good at making the guys level. So I think they'll still remain into it and hopefully to find a way to win, because I do think we should separate the players, the manager, and from the executives and how they handled everything.
Good message to end on right there. Whitecaps tonight against Portland, 7 p.m. BC Place, Langley Event Center, Giants, Raiders. Pick your pleasure when it comes to sports. This is Satiar Shah here on the BT couch. Great to see you, man. Okay, Russell Gates.
I get it, Riaz. That beard can be distracting, but I'm not distracted. I'm looking at an animal on your ankle there, Sat. Is that animal down there?
It is animal.
Nice.
It's a Tasmanian devil.
Oh, fantastic.
How do we focus with all this going on, man?
I can't focus, yeah. I'm going to throw the weather over to Thor. Thor, you can take the weather for me, buddy? Okay.
I got it, buddy.
Let's have a look at it, shall we?